our event vehicle in its parking place, and then ensured that the front door was unlocked, and just prepared for Mr. Jackson's arrival.
Okay. And did he arrive shortly thereafter?
Yes, he did.
And what did you do then as Mr. Jackson, once he pulled onto the property, what took place?
Then they would pull up to the front door. I would help opening his door. He would get off. And the fans always gave him a lot of gifts, a lot of cards or flowers. And we would assist with removing those items from the vehicle and then placing them in his home.
Okay. Is that what you did that night?
That is correct.
And did you speak to Mr. Jackson during that brief time?
Briefly, just said goodnight, and he said goodnight, and that was it.
Was that the last time you saw him alive?
That's the last time I saw him.
After you said goodnight to Mr. Jackson that evening, what did you do?
When we finished unloading all the gifts, then we secured the front door, and then we all headed to the security trailer for debriefing.
And was that typical routine?
Yes, sir.
Now, after the debriefing in the trailer, what did you do, sir?
After the debriefing, we all headed out. Those that were relieved would head out, and security would stay, and we just headed home.
Okay. And did you head home at that time?
Yeah, that's correct, sir.
Okay. And were you scheduled to work the next day, June 25th, 2009?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you report back to Carrollwood the next day, June 25th, 2009?
That is correct.
And what time did you get there?
I got there after 10 o'clock, sir, somewhere around 10:15, 10:20.
In the morning?
In the morning, sir.
And Mr. Alvarez, what did you do when you arrived at about 10:15 in the morning?
Same routine. We would check into the security trailer, see if there was any instructions at that time, and if there wasn't anything to be done, then we would just sit around in the trailer waiting for any specific instructions.
Okay. Mr. Alvarez, prior to today's date, did you have an opportunity to review your telephone records?
Yes, I have.
And did you also have an opportunity to review a summary of your telephone records as to the relevant time period?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. Going to have a summary of the phone records of Alberto Alvarez, his number being area code 909-273-4846. May this summary be marked Peoples 26?
It is.
It's previously been shown to defense counsel, Your Honor. Can you see that chart, Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, I can.
And as reflected in the first line of that chart, well, let me ask you this before getting into that. Where were you at about 12:17 p.m. on June 25th, 2009?
Still in the security trailer.
Okay. And at 12:18 p.m., as reflected in your phone records, do you recall getting a phone call from Michael Amir, or excuse me, calling Michael Amir Williams at phone number 562-881-2570, with that call, as reflected on your phone records, lasting 88 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Conversation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And prior to that 12:18 call, do your phone records reflect and I'll just go line by line. 12:17, a call from Michael Amir to you for 21 seconds. 12:17, a call from Michael Amir to you for 20 seconds. And then 12:18, a call from you to Michael Amir for 6 seconds. Again, 12:18, a call from you to Michael Amir for 5 seconds. In those 4 phone calls I've just mentioned, was any conversation had between you and Michael Amir, or were those just messages back and forth or attempts to reach one another?
It was attempts to reach one another, sir.
Okay. Going forward then to the call I had mentioned previously, the 12:18 phone call from you to Michael Amir Williams, lasting 88 seconds. Where were you when you answered that phone and actually spoke to Michael Amir Williams?
I was inside the security trailer, sir.
And when you answered the phone, say to you, what?
He said, "Where are you at?" And I said, "I'm at the house." He said, "Okay, I need you to get up. Don't cause too much commotion," something to that regards. And he says, "Go to the front of the house." And so I got up right as he said that, and I started heading to the front of the house, sir.
Okay. Showing you what was earlier marked. People 6 for identification. Do you recognize that aerial photograph of 100 North Carrollwood?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And in People 6, you previously identified the... Would we be able to dim some of the lights, just please?
Mr. Sayer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. If you could, Mr. Alvarez, you've indicated at the time you received the call you were in the trailer reflected on the right side of People 6. What I'd like you to do, if you could, with you have the pointer there with you?
I sure do.
Show us with the pointer the path you took once Mr. Williams told you, don't make a commotion, but head toward the front door, or whatever the exact words that were said.
Yes, sir. I exited through the front of the trailer and then made my way through this part of the driveway and then proceeded to go through the front to the front door, sir.
Okay. And you've indicated then you came out of the doors of the trailer, came around to the front of the house, to the official 6, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And while you're walking along this path, I assume you're on the phone speaking with Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Are you relaying to him, in essence, what you're doing, that you're proceeding toward the front of the house?
He asked me if I was walking. I said yes, and he says, "Okay, jog to the front of the house or speed up." You know, he told me to run, something to that regards. And so I proceeded to pick up my pace and walk. Continue to walk towards the front of the house, or continue to go to the front of the house.
Showing you what was earlier marked People 7. Do you recognize that as being the front doors that you've just described?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as reflected in People 7, these front doors are glass?
That is correct.
Okay. And did you eventually then, as you're coming toward the front of the house and you're on the phone with the front of the house to these glass doors as reflected in People 7?
I sure did.
And what did you do, sir, as you got to these front glass doors?
I reached out to open the front door, but noticed it was locked, and I relayed to Michael Amir that the front door was locked. And as I was relaying that, the nanny was inside, and she proceeded to come forward to the door and unlock it.
Okay. So you were looking in through the doors, and you could see the nanny come to the front door and unlock it?
That is correct, sir.
As you looked through these front glass doors, could you see other individuals Prior to your actual entry into the home, could you see other individuals?
Yes, I could, sir.
Who did you see?
Like I said, I saw the nanny. I saw Paris standing next to her. Also seen Dr. Conrad Murray on the top of the second floor, sir.
Okay. I'm going to show you a photograph. Previously marked People's 8 for identification. Do you recognize what is shown there, Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would this be the vantage point as you're looking in through the glass doors into Michael Jackson's home?
That is correct.
Okay. And so this area here where I'm pointing to the lower part of People's 8 would be kind of the front foyer area of the home?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And as you looked in the glass doors and saw the nanny, and saw Michael's daughter Paris, and saw Conrad Murray, could you please, using the pointer, show us the general locations of each individual, beginning with the nanny?
Sure.
And let me ask, is that Rosalind? So where was the nanny as best you can recall?
I recall that she was in this general area, and then Paris was right beside her.
Okay, and for the record, in People's 8, you've reflected, or you used the pointer to indicate the left side of the photograph where there appears to be a chair and a small table. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Rosalind then would be closer to you than Paris was?
Yes, she was.
Okay. And Paris was just behind her, but in your view?
She was in the side of her, sir.
In the side of her?
On the side of her. Yes.
Okay.